Yeah, we good.
All right, welcome to the Just Two Black Brothers podcast. I'm DJ Paris, my brother Politickin, and we got the legend, we got Mr. K Solo on with us tonight, man. What's going on with you, sir?
Yeah. Ice Cream Run, you see me, baby, out here in Florida, you know what I'm saying? Just taking in the ambiance.
Man, I was saying I gotta tell you something, man. You had got me in trouble when I was a little kid, because I used to be around the house around my mom and her friends. I used to be singing "Your Mom's in my business, she in my business." And my mom like, "Shut the fuck
up!" Yo, no doubt. But that was our fight back song, right? Because we couldn't really get out of character. So that was the way of saying, that was the way of saying it right there.
All day.
No doubt, guys. Well, I'm happy you guys got me on the Two Black Guys show, you know what I'm saying? And sorry I was like a little late, if not a lot of late. I was on Black Folks Time today. I don't know why. I'm usually not. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good, my man.
So what's going on with you right now? I heard you got an EP you working on?
Yeah, I got the whole label, all my whole labels working out. So I went back to school. I went to Full Sail.
Okay.
For music business and then production. And I met all my guys in there. I met a couple of cool guys and sold my philosophy, and I have a great team of friends, alumni friends that we're gonna stick our nose to the grind. And my son's on the record label, Young Wolf. He's a new up-and-coming artist. Redman produced his first single, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And my other son, Adrian's on there. Vaughn's crew is Brand Gang. Adrian and Voix, they're working out their situation right now, what their team gonna be. I got the Spartan Academy, the older dudes. And we all met in the middle. My whole thing was, when I was in the rap industry, man, the stuff that I was trying to be known for, I am known for, because I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want to be, just trigger happy, lyrical, buck all over the place. I wanted to have a purpose in what I was saying, because my audience was going to kick into the people that raised me in the church, the people that came from my community, like my Uncle Frank, my Aunt Ernestine, my Uncle Walter. I always wanted them to enjoy it too. So I always had to, which made it kind of hard for me. I couldn't write records that most of my age group would write. I always wrote records that made sense and all of the generations could relate to. And that was cool for me. Even if I sold less, it was still cool that I could be in the space and still be appreciated among my peers, and then still have a throwback where the older generation can embrace my music too.
Yeah, I say you just said something. You said something real big. I won't say, because like I know you've been in the game for a while. So what made you go back to school? Because that's kind of like a an ego thing. Some people be like, I don't need to go back to school. But what made you to go to Full Scale to learn more about the music industry?
Well, I'm a history major anyway. I was real good at history. I always knew about history, and what made me strike back to go back to school was because I didn't have the technical knowledge of things that I wanted to have an understanding of. And then I immersed myself back in it, which was not easy in the beginning, but then, with all my friends and being in those type of circles, I would get the study group on and I would get caught up real quick. So I was floating. And then I started learning things I never thought I'd learn about, and started understanding. So when I first went out to work with EPMD, me and Paris was kids together. Paris's brother had an older brother that put us in the group when we were very young. And I was just, everything then was just, it was like off the fly. I didn't write rhymes then. I was able to freestyle. So I knew about that part of the industry just off of instinct. And I was good at it, but then it got tiring. It was like, okay, we did that. We understand that. Now we can learn something else. Let's learn about how do we do production? How do we work these machines? How do we, not only do we work the machines, how do we produce a record? What's the difference between 4-measure loop and an 8-bar measure loop? It was just all kind of questions. and I would just get involved in theory and all of that stuff and start figuring things out in school. And then I would feed them to Sam Snead, guys that, you know, I was on the fly with in the industry, and was like, Sam, did you know this? Because Sam's another guy who was really, I gave him one shot, right? He would hire me to do a show in Pittsburgh, and I heard some of his beats, and I said, okay, I heard something. Don't know what it was. But when I brought him to New York and let him work on the album, and Paris, don't get me wrong, was a dope producer, but at this time, he wasn't, I mean, like the formula track, if you hear it, that's classic PMD, like Paris was like. But at that time, I don't know if he understood, like we were under a gun and making the album and getting it done. I don't know. I just know that Sam came in and Sam got a chance to do the album and Paris let him do it. He was like, go ahead, do it. And Paris put one record on there and it was cool. It worked. Paris' song was real crazy though. It was called Formula. And I can do things off the fly like that. But going back to school and learning how corporate works, then you basically understand how you can, you know, double time, fit in the scenario and make it happen in their world as well as your world, if that makes sense. And I didn't graduate yet, but I have enough knowledge and enough immersion with my abilities and my friends to actually kickstart and come back in seriously. And the South really needs it, because I noticed something about the South. They have a musical end that Sam Snead learned how to produce from the South. I kept him in Atlanta first, and then he learned that. So to reverse the West Coast, I was like, go to Atlanta, learn that. He learned that. We understand how to make the music now, what they like here. We know what boom bap is like. We know all three genres of the music in Black America, whether it's South, East Coast, or West Coast. We master all three. And I master Black exploitation too. Main thing I was always about as a kid was Black exploitation music in hip hop. When Snoop first came out and we introduced them kind of skits to Snoop, it wasn't like Dre didn't understand it. He understood it, but we were instrumental in pushing the envelope for it to get done. You know, I don't ever want to say Dre didn't know, because we all come from Black exploitation. It's before hip hop we had Black exploitation. But I want to also say, when I was very young, my father was good friends with Gordon Parks. My father played in a band. My father was a musician. My father was raised in Harlem. My father sung at the Apollo and made it to the finals and lost to a little kid who just sung a half a song and just looked cute. And, you know, my dad lost to him. But however, my dad had great relationships with people. And my father, you know, not only was a musician, he wrote books. He was just a very intelligent, you know, charismatic character for the throwback era. So me growing up in that environment with my father, being a musician, I was always around the music industry and his friends, whether it be Smitty on the saxophone or Chip the drummer or Gordon Parks or, you know, my aunt's dated Philip Fenty, the screenwriter, he wrote the screenplay for Superfly. And my aunt, you know, my aunt Sonia married him. And then my first babysitter was, in Jamaica, Queens, when my mother would leave me with Teddy. Teddy was from That's My Mama. Teddy Roosevelt was my godfather. And Bookman, Johnny Bookman was my neighbor. These were my babysitters when I was a kid. So I always had those people in my life, and I was a little different, and I paid attention to that. So my music, Fugitive and all that, my true stories came from the era of Shaft. Those music and landscapes that raised me, I'm very familiar with them, and I always kept them dear to my music. So when we did Snoop, I gave him Huggy Bear. We put Pam Grier in the video with Drake. We made all of that read because I was very familiar with that growing up. That was part of who I was. When Dr. Dre wears Carhartt, I'm the first rapper that wore Carhartt in the rap video because Muhammad Ali trained in Carhartt. So these are things I put in the rap game. I don't get credit for, but I let it be known where it comes from. We put Timberlands in the game in '78. Long Island started wearing Timberlands. That Timberlands was not a part. Okay, so if you're a historian and you know hip hop, you know, British Walkers, Playboys, Valleys were all part of the landscape when hip hop was very young in the Bronx, in the Brooklyn. They all adapt to that. Long Island was so far off into the sunset that you couldn't say you were from Long Island at those parties. It would be a problem. You know, until Rakim came out. Then when Rakim came out, Long Island got a face. But I gotta remember too, like in Long Island, the only rappers that were rhyming at that time was Rakim, myself, and Biz Mark. And Salam, and Salam was Salam was Rakim's partner with Love Brothers, but Salam didn't, like Rakim matured at a very high rate at a young age. Rakim's style matured so quick and so fast, he became the face of Long Island hip hop. And then the pieces fell in. Me and Redman came through that door too. We both came out of Long Island too. And so I just wanted to clarify that, and Champion hoodies and Carhartt and Timberlands, that's a Long Island thing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because we got like a lot of younger people listen to this show. So I just want you to kind of talk about, because you was naming Snoop and Sam Snead, so people might be like, how are you connected to them? I know they're Death Row artists. So can you let the people know how you connected with Snoop and Dre when you was talking about that earlier?
Yeah, so when we was making records on the East Coast, we were known as the NWA of the East Coast. We were with the Hit Squad. And then the Hit Squad broke up. And when the Hit Squad broke up, instead of staying with, like Redman stayed with Eric, and I didn't stay with Paris because I had Sam. Sam had did the album with us. And I took Sam, you know, me and Sam wanted to try the West Coast thing. So I figured it would be a good thing to do, and we did. We stayed out there with Dr. Dre. We got signed to Dr. Dre, and this is before we knew about any of the drama with, you know, what was going on at Death Row. We had signed, and I immediately seen that working with Snoop was real good and was beneficial too, because Snoop had all of that on his back and he carried it, and, you know, everybody was making it happen, and, you know, Snoop popped off. So yeah, we were out there. We were East Coast guys that were out there on the West Coast. And if the young guys might not remember, but funk music kind of blew the West Coast up.
Right.
Calabash, yeah, P-Funk blew, even though it came from Jersey, but the West Coast adapted to that very big, and it took off like how we adopted the soul music. James Brown and Al Green, we adopted to that. And that more like made our landscape. Even though George Clinton was big all over, he wasn't as big as they were in the East, I don't think. Not to my degree. Because I remember listening to the music in the house that we were being raised in. It was more soul. It was more staple singers. It was more Stax. It was more Curtis Mayfield. There was more James Brown. It was more of that kind of stuff. And then in California, it was, you know, P-Funk, Zap, heavy though. Because Casablanca Records was out there. And a lot of them was rocking with that. You know what I'm saying? Parliament, P-Funk was rocking with that. So Tommy Dow was an engineer for Atlantic Records at the time, Iman Ertekin. He also did an engineer for the Manhattan Project and the bomb that bombed the Hiroshima in World War II.
Damn.
But
we Marines. We both Marines.
Right. Yeah, so you understand. But music and sound music and that engineering ability to a bomb, I guess, has same premises in a lot of areas. Now, back to what I was saying at Death Row. What I was learning about Death Row at that time, being new to the West Coast, and I've been out there before because I met Dr. Dre and Jack the Rapper when we were very, very young and coming out with our albums. I think it was 89. And Dr. Dre, and I met Dr. Dre and DOC. And Paris was pretty cool. My guy from EPMD was pretty cool with Eazy-E. So when Eazy-E came to, we came to LA to do the big Payback video on EPMD's second album, Unfinished Business album. Easy E and Dr. Dre and them all brought their guns to the shooting range with us. But I was always closer to Dre back then than I was Easy. Easy tried to get me to sign to the NWA camp too, but I never took him serious. I went back with my guys and put out my album with my guys. But Easy kept telling me in the beginning, yo, you should sign with us. And I didn't do it.
Yeah, you should have signed with him, man.
Nah, DOC was over there doing well. They didn't need nobody over there. They was good. My guys, I came out where I came out. Listen, like I said, when I got my chance to work with them, I did. And it was cool. It's just a lot of things was different in Black America in their situation than ours. You know what I'm saying? They were different because what they did and if their music was different than ours. Like their lifestyle was a little different than ours. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot, but enough to make a difference.
Well, I saw you called yourself the original rap criminal.
Yeah, that's because where I came from, I did my first album when I was locked in jail. You know, my first album I was locked up. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, you like, shit, I really lived it. I actually, was you writing the songs while you was in jail, or I know you said you was freestyling, but when you was locked up, was you writing?
Yeah, I wrote a lot of that in there, and then when I met I met all my guys in there. They were all rappers too, trying to come out, and it's just our culture as Black people, man. That's a part. It's really a part of it. It's like a paradigm, but it's really a part of it. If you don't go to school, if you don't have a wicked jump shot, or you're not in sports, you're 9 out of 10 you're gonna wind up in jail. You know, and that's that's what it was. But like I said, it didn't change nothing. The people were still people, and everybody was still doing what it wasn't really a bad issue. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just you had to be abreast to where you was at, and you had to stay on your P's and Q's for where you was at, but you were there. And there were people that had the people that I met, they were very angry, and there were some people that weren't angry and they just wanted to go home. They wanted to figure out their little dilemma to get out of it, which is part of life. You know what I'm saying? That's part of life. Everybody has a part of life like that. There's some guys that go to college and find out it's not for them, and they're not going to graduate.
They take 2 or 1.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or they get the degree and then they don't like that field no more.
Exactly. They don't want to work in the field.
Get all that money.
Yeah.
So now you got to get out that circumstance.
And then and it's the same thing with women. She loves you today. She might not love you tomorrow.
Oh.
Right? It's the same thing with guys, right? She's like, well, it was all good a week ago.
Right.
Love you no more. She met somebody else, you know. So,
or she said she gonna hold you down while you locked up, and she can't. Right. But you know, I met a lot of dudes who would just say stuff like, "Yo, if they like, let's say they got like 5-10 years, they'd tell little girl like, look, do your thing, that's my when I get back." But I'm like, with a woman, you can't do that. You can't tell her to go do her thing and then expect her to want you when you come back, because they say when a woman do something, they put their emotions in that shit. So you really think she thinking about you and she all messing around while you locked up?
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I was reading up.
Grocery store run or something.
Yeah, you had the grocery store.
How you know?
Like Walgreens.
How you know?
I saw I'm in Brooklyn, so I saw the logo on the door. But nah, man, we was reading up on you, man. I said, so like I wanted to talk to you about like rap beefs, not particularly yours, but like beefs and rap. So like when in your day when you was coming out like 90, 91, 92, I was like 12, 13. So I didn't really recognize rap beefs like that. Like I started like my first rap beef I would say was Tupac and Biggie, but people probably don't know it was a lot of beefs back then. And like some of them were probably some people say some of those beefs are planned. They'll help make music or help sell music. What you think about beefs in the rap game?
Well, it's our culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can only they only let one go through, right? They only let one of you win. So yeah, that's what it turns into. And that's not a great scenario, but it happens. You know, that's what happens. You know, they want to see one.
Right. That's what I say about female rap too. Female rapper, that's the same way. It's like why y'all got all these damn female rappers beefing with each other when there's enough money for all of them to eat?
Well, you know where that comes from, and a lot of people don't realize this, guys. I do a lot of history. That comes from the Battle Royale, when white America would get the black kids in the ring and they would blindfold them. And the only kid that was standing was the one that they were going to actually let box and train. So it's the same thing with rap. They let them all battle each other, and then they only got to deal with one of them. Because always remember this too. Willie Lynch had a lot to do with a lot of Willie Lynch was a sick, psychotic slave master who would always say, let's make one of them the giant. So when they get out of line, we kill one and the rest of them are afraid.
Yeah. They kill the biggest one.
Well, they make him a hero. So when they do him, you're afraid of what they're going to do to you because they subconsciously made him a hero. So when you don't follow suit, something happens to him and then it puts fear back in you. And then the cultures also bred those kind of people that carried fear off into the bloodline too. Black America is very jacked up. And I don't think people really take the time to think about it because they're so used to being in the shit. They don't pay attention. They don't even pay attention to what's going on. It's part of their way of life and the way. Think about, I dated women who, were beautiful people. They just had no damn sense. And I used to always say to myself, this girl can write better than me, but her heart is poison. You know, her love is poison because she don't have the sense to get from Jamaica Avenue to Archer Avenue. But she's beautiful, but she just ain't got no damn sense. And then they breed the babies, and the babies come out like that too. And we don't pay attention because we're so used to it. Think about this. Muhammad Ali said, I was named after Cassius Marcellus Clay. The Emancipation Proclamation was written in 1864.
January 1st.
Correct. Muhammad Ali was born in 1942, January 17th. He said on TV he didn't know who Cassius Marcellus Clay was. And he's from Kentucky. Now, I don't want to, any stretch of imagination, disrespect Muhammad Ali because he's my hero. But it's embarrassing to hear you never read about Cassius Marcellus Clay, the politician, because every time he got money, he freed slaves. And then it's also embarrassing that you named yourself after an Arab, and the Arab Muslim that you named yourself after had slaves.
So he should have kept his original name.
No, but I think the little that I do know, I think he kind of got played because I thought did Malcolm X meet Muhammad Ali in Florida? And that's how they originally met or something like that. But at that time,
but when he did meet Malcolm, and there's an I'm saying something to you also. When black people in America had power, they always went crazy and got killed. I can't name one that got power and just walked away and walked off into the sunset. Even when Muhammad Ali beat Foreman in 1978, he should have retired. He left his wife, and it hurt my feeling when he left Belinda because Belinda was his backbone. She was the one that wrote the rhymes. She's the one that told him, don't go to the war. Stand up and be this type of Muslim man. And he listened to her. Belinda was the one also that had his other women. She would put him in hotels for him. So why would you leave her for the other one? And then Larry Holmes almost killed you. And everybody was like, why? Wonder why? Look what you did. So I'm not saying nothing bad about him because I love him. But I'm saying I noticed in my culture the gray areas. And there's a lot of gray areas. Sugar Ray Robinson's first fight he lost, it was 110 fights. He went undefeated.
Yeah.
And then he wind up, just How can you be this ingenious, right? This is another reason why I went back to school. How you gonna be this ingenious? And you can only, that's all you can do is box till you're 50 years old and they get knocked out.
Yeah, that's why I like Floyd. Floyd was smart enough. People say Floyd is dumb, but he was smart in what he did.
No, I like Floyd, but I'm just saying I want to see somebody say this. Go back to, okay, so another thing I want to say, when they was making fun of him reading and stuff, if you don't read a lot, don't mean you're ignorant. You're just not used to the eye contact and the words. That doesn't mean you don't know what the word is. It's just he's not doing that a lot. Now here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. We could do that to each other though. We can jump on all the time. And I noticed that in history, I read these books and I read that W.D. Boyce had problems with Marcus Garvey. Instead of you picking them up and saying, that's what I'm saying, W.D. Boyce was one of the first educators in New England, you know, who started the NAACP. If you had an issue with Brother Marcus Garvey, why you ain't pull him to the side and teach him what you know?
I know, right?
Why do y'all challenge each other all the time to no avail? And then Booker T. Washington, he got the butt of the jokes too. They was on his neck too. Yeah. It's like, how do you, and then I look at our culture and I see when white culture governs us, we can't crawl up under the rock. We go for it. Yeah. We go for it every time. So point, like, we might as well pray to white people.
Hey, like they did old boy from the Cosby Show when they saw him working at Whole Foods. I'm like, damn.
Not only that, what I mean by that is too, it's like what they did to cannabis when cannabis came out and LL jumped on them and then Redman, it hurt my feelings when Redman said, nah, cannabis didn't do that, but everybody let it happen though.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Listen, what I mean by that is, and I'm not saying nothing bad against nobody. I'm just saying I can handle it too. But all I'm saying is this. If you're gonna see somebody young and black and they coming out and they had that look in their eyes.
They had that fire.
Did you realize they were trying to win for their parents and we crushed them? We crushed them for the white people. We crushed them for the bad white people, not the good white people, because I had a lot of good white people in my life that taught me this the way I think too. You know, like Dorothy Saunders, she was from the Salvation Army and she had no issue. She was a Christian and had no issue with a Muslim praying in her church. She would give them the rugs and everything. She had no issue. She had no issue with it. I remember there was a girl that would pick them up the Salvation Army. She was dark-skinned. She got burnt. And I couldn't look at her when I eat. And I used to be like, Major. And she told me that the lady burnt the house down, reading her babies the Bible, and they had a candle. They had no lights in the house, and the house burned down. That's why she looked like that. Mm-hmm. And I learned so much from this white lady, you know what I'm saying? And I learned from my boxing coaches too, who were Italian. I said something about Joe Louis one day. I was about 12 years old, and the hot dog came out my hand, and I was outside, and they didn't come get me. Like, it was serious. It was serious when I learned about some people that were considered white people, with Italians, which are not white people. But people say things about Italians, but
so what are
Johnsons, they're not white. They black people turned inside out. And let me tell you something. Bumpy Johnson's one of his best friends was Lucky Luciano. When Madam Queen got problems in Harlem for Dutch Schultz, the Italians and the blacks got rid of Dutch Schultz. So I'm just saying, I'm only reason I'm saying that, and I'm not saying this in every situation. I'm just saying that when they paint these movies and these people write these movies, they're not writing it for real. Like Frank Sinatra loved black people so much that.
Oh, he took care of Sammy Davis Jr.
Not only that, not just that, that's light. Sammy Davis Jr. is light. When Joe Louis couldn't box no more and he was over, Frank Sinatra made sure he ate, he took care of him. He took care of him until he died like it was his father. Yep. So people don't give Frank Sinatra the props. And when Ella Fitzgerald had a problem in Vegas and they said they couldn't eat in the restaurant, Frank Sinatra boycotted the whole restaurant. Frank Sinatra did that for Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, Pearl Bailey, Red Fox, all of them.
He was doing that shit back then when it was like shit. He didn't have to do that shit. You really didn't have to do that shit back then. They didn't care. You had to.
Not only that, he did that. Not only that, he don't get credit for this neither. There'll be no Quincy Jones if it wasn't for him. He's Quincy Jones, his kid's godfather. He did all the music for Frank Sinatra. So Frank Sinatra was a big part of Black America's sobriety and standing up in the civil rights movement and all that. Even though he wasn't a big fan of Muhammad Ali, he was a greater fan of Joe Louis and Sugar Ray Robinson.
I'll go ask you, because it sounds like you're a boxing fan. So what you think about Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson was the first Black champion in 1901. Galveston, Texas, named as the Black Ethiopian Giant. And he was the greatest thing Black America saw. And he was the reason why Black America had all the problems too, because he was such a fanatic of pushing the envelope in white America. He married white women in 1901 when they wasn't ready for it.
Oh, weird. He ain't give a fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Not only
that's why I got him right here. He right here.
Not only did he give a fuck, he knocked out Henry Ketchell's teeth in the 13th round. Knocked him out and wiped him off and looked at him, and he glowed over the white people when he knocked them out. Yeah. And he smiled, and so they didn't like Black people because of him. Because of Jack Johnson in 1901, the federal government became a federal agency because of him. Damn. You had no federal agency till Jack Johnson showed up. That's what I'm saying, but most of my people don't know history. So when I have these conversations with people, right, and I always pick up the subject to rhyme about, I always say, damn, you got all of these things to rap about. I don't want to be on TV looking stupid, rhyming gold teeth in my mouth and saying something stupid and helping somebody wrap their life up. I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? But as the same token, it's very weird to be in a situation that I'm in because I'm a maverick and I'm a unicorn because I have this knowledge and I gotta still impel myself with other people that have no knowledge of nothing. And that's what makes it kind of boring. Like, that's what I loved about Redman so much. I was able to mold Redman, and Redman was able to take on my tenacity. And he was able to actually, because I'm older than Redman, and I was very hard on Redman because I didn't want Redman to fail, and he didn't fail. There's a difference between Redman's career and Keith Murray's career. Because I was paramount in Redman's career. Even though I put Keith Murray in Eric's yard and walked off, Keith Murray knew me as a child. He wasn't gonna break. I wasn't a hero to Keith Murray. I was a weirdo to Keith Murray. Keith Murray would look at me like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of this. Like, he's not understanding the processes that come with it. He's not understanding what comes with making a great rapper. But I did it with Redman. And that sitting him next to him, I can't compare them two.
Right. Redman still Redman still rapping. Shit, I ain't heard no Keith Murray songs in a minute.
Not just that he's still rapping. I'm not saying nothing bad about Murray. What I mean is this. You still gonna need the next generation. Like when Murray went out there and he didn't have the thought of what he's gonna do and how he's gonna do it because he had no advice, he had no corner. You went out there with 60 guys on drugs and you were doing whatever you wanted to do. Now you're on interviews explaining to people like, yo, I'm grown now. You're doing that because you're not getting those phone calls. People think you're a problem coming in. See, Redman never had that problem. See, when I had Redman, I would tell Redman that shit early. And don't be bringing this nigga. And don't be bringing that one. Just do this, do that, do that. Don't shame your mama. Go get that. Go. And Redman, and even though I didn't think he was listening, my baby brother was listening. And nothing, and let me tell you something, when they went down with Paris and Eric and nobody on the hit squad was making records with them, Redman ain't do that solo. Redman got on the record and said, my big brother, because he know how much I put in him and saying, you know, I didn't write no rhymes for him. I didn't make no beats. I'm talking about ideology of life.
Yeah.
And he listened to me. And my baby brother is still my baby brother to this day. I look at him and look at his mother and I go, we did it. We got him, look. Because he, even though he was, don't get me wrong, Redman was an asshole in the beginning, sitting at the house with cocaine in the house, getting kicked out. You know, he was doing his little stupid shit. And then when he got out here with us in the trenches, Eric's house got shot up, they threw him out. I panicked and put him up in my house and gave him my place. Then his money came. Or something could have happened if he didn't get into a house right away. We don't know what could have happened.
Right. Fact.
His deal wasn't on the table yet, and it wasn't finalized. Leo Cohen, did you think he sounded like Eric Sherman? Nobody knew about what he was gonna do but me. Very early. I knew he was gonna be huge. I just knew it. Just something about it. I knew he was going to be big. So nothing against Murray. It's just because of what Black America represents. That's why he didn't respond to me. He didn't respond to me. The East Coast kids are ignorant to the fact of, I ain't listening to you old niggas. I ain't listening to you OGs. I don't owe y'all niggas nothing. See?
Yeah, that's why they say a lot of Black people don't support Black stuff. They say a lot of Black people don't like to support Black people because they feel like they can do the same thing anyway. So why would I support somebody when I could do the same shit they doing? But they ain't doing nothing. Like you ain't doing nothing, but you hating on the dude for doing something that you think you could do.
Not only that, Murray could rhyme, but here's the thing. He needed to be polished on his professionalism, because it is not professional to be up there on the stage in a battle saying you've been writing battle raps for effing years and you in here with all these battle rappers. Have a little more respect for these guys and hone your craft and be on point. And that's why it happened to him, because he didn't have no respect for those people. You got to have respect for those people when you go up in there. And that's one thing about Mr. Reggie Noble. He is a respectful guy. And that's why I always say he was the greatest pupil to have in you, because he would just soak it up and he would never challenge you. You know what I'm saying? I come home, the house was never messed up. All right, my gas would be out the car. He's going to ride the car till the gas is out. But the kids loved him. He was a pleasure to be around. He didn't bring no drama to your house. Nobody rocked. He was just a beautiful. When I look at his mother and I say to Mama Noble, I say, we did it because what she instilled in him, I kept it in his ear when he was in the street too. Like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this. Yeah. You're going to do that. You're not going to do this. You're going to do that. And sure enough, he was listening to me. So no matter what
that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of them ain't professional. That go on to this day. A lot of them just ain't.
But just imagine if Murray had solo and he listened, like if he knew me like he knew me, right? Because he didn't really know. I just threw him in there. If he was to listen instead of looking at me like I'm some quagmire and he listened, he wouldn't be in the shit he in now.
Yeah, because he was nice, man. Like growing up, we used to listen to Keith Murray, man, like all the time.
Nice. He was nice. But here's the thing. One mistake.
It's a wrap.
I mean, he might be able to fix some of it, but it's hard when you're dealing with a rapper like Redman he's gonna be very classy, absurd on his shit all day, every day, and he's gonna outwork you.
Right.
See, it's a different game. So they didn't realize what I did. And the only problem Redman could have had at that situation was that crew. So I didn't even know what I was doing it for. I just figured, let me put Murray on with Eric. And everybody in my crew was like, but he don't really like you. I said, I know. It doesn't matter. Let me put him on. Even he's an enemy to my ideology, though.
Right.
And I still put him on because look, what did God say to do with your enemies?
You gotta forgive your enemies 7 times. What do you say, 7 times 7?
Not only that, you
gotta love them.
And you gotta put him on. And I did.
Yeah.
Even though he's an enemy.
So you talking? This is all pre-Hit Squad.
Well, this is after the Hit Squad broke up, and I said, well, here, let me get Eric something. But I knew that if Eric didn't raise this kid, he was gonna fall apart at the seams.
Yeah, definitely.
Because let me tell you something. I had to let Redman be clear with him. This is what I expect from you. Nothing other than this. And he was never nothing more than what I said he was. To this day, where's he at? Working. He's working. I don't ever have to worry about him. You know why? He didn't fall through the cracks. And it could have happened. Anything is possible. He could have fell through the cracks, but he didn't. And he listened. He paid attention. And his work is through the roof. He is the greatest rapper from New Jersey. Hands down. He'll always be. Nobody will beat him at that.
I thought they were going to say Joe Buttons. People be talking about Joe Buttons all the time.
No. Joe Buttons, I like him. He's an absurd kid. I like Joe Buttons, but not like Redman. I would have to get with Joe Buttons and run him down the street like I did Reggie and be like, see, my thing is like a custom model. To talk to him and get his mind where it needs to go and then put a log on the fire and watch it burn. Redman shit go to a heavy flame, bro. They go to a blue flame real quick. And his work ethic is very, very, very good. He's very focused. It's like you never gave him nothing and you gave him an opportunity to be something. He's like, no, I ain't gonna fail. He just runs. To your point where you got to tell him, okay, you don't have to work this hard. And he still does it. So he's a special kid. You know, pleasure to be around. And like I said, Murray, listen, enemy to my ideology. In other words, I never hurt people even though I was hurt. I got saved earlier by my people. I tried to help him, but he was so into himself and wrapped up in himself, I couldn't get to him. And then it all fell apart, see? It fell apart because he didn't have that somebody grooming him. You gotta have somebody grooming you. Boxing is just like hip hop, very, very similar. You need people to spar with. You need people to criticize you. You need people to make you better than where you think you are. Because you can always be better.
Yep, push you to your limit.
You could, I mean, yeah. And in Florida, that's why I came out here too. These kids need this kind of, they need this kind of OG in this hood. I have left Long Island because I was raised there. And I noticed that we were getting into little spats with our crews, like EPMD, Eric Sherman. And maybe I kept saying, maybe it's because we're on top of each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe we need to spread out. Because we're all fighting. Oh, I'm on Hot 97 today. I'm on Hot 97 today. Too much. I was like, you know what? Let them have radio. You know, I own 4 radio stations now. Let these guys do this over here. Let me build my platform up. Let me go back to school. Second biggest music school in the world is Full Sail. The first one being Berkeley College. I mean, I'm cool. I thought it out and then I prayed on it and I made it happen, you know? And, you know, I'll go back and get the paper, but right now, I'm with my crew that they all got out. So some of them graduated, some of them didn't. I'm gonna convince them to go back because we all should go back. But here's the thing, we got something great and it's working. We got 2 professors that came out of there on the team. So we know how to do everything. We know what a synchronization is. We know what a screw, we just know our shit now. And we can just do our thing, you know, without somebody telling us something that we don't know what they're talking about. We know what they're talking about now. You know, we know how it works.
I just figured out what you talking about. So you talking about when Keith Murray battled Frederick Starr?
No, I'm just saying the only reason why I'm saying to them is this. I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm saying this to so kids learn. You got to use this as a learning tool, and I'm sure, you know, if I was me, I would want them to learn from it too. Okay, you go in a battle with Frederick Starr.
Yeah, them on the show a little while ago.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the way you didn't respect the battle rappers enough when you said, I've been writing battle. You were setting yourself up when you were saying before you got to the battle, I've been writing battle raps. I'm talking about that attitude. That's an enemy of my ideology.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you can't be so ignorant and cocky and then look what the outcome was.
You know they're not going to cheer for you. Already kind of messing up your crowd.
You got to be a little more. See, like Redman would have worked it like a genius. Redman would have came in there. It would have been a different guy. He wouldn't have said that. He would have respected those battle rappers. He would have gave them that, and them guys would have. And I think if Murray had the coaches, like Reggie had, it would have been a different fight. You know, that's all I'm saying. I don't think he's a dope rapper. And I always like Keith Murray's rhyme shot. And I always knew in Centralizing, but I was the king of it. I knew he was going to be the next guy because he had street guys behind him too. But the difference with me was I didn't take my street guys with me outside of CI because I didn't want to lose them. I didn't take them to death row. I took one of them to death row, and that was Ralph Wheeler. But Ralph Wheeler's been with me since 8 years old, Salvation Army. Ralph Wheeler is like, he's like my brother. If I do something, it's automatic. Like, Ralph Wheeler's got it, he got a seat, you know what I'm saying? I see Ralph Wheeler in the streets. Me and Redman was doing a show in Virginia. There he was with 70 dudes in the street selling drugs. He came off the road that night. I was like, yo, you gotta pack your shit. You're not selling drugs anymore. You're on the road with us. Let's go. Because my childhood I had with him. But I could have took Rocky Cater. I could have took a whole bunch of guys with me. Like say, you'd have brought all them to death row. Would they still be here now? No. But I'm happy that I did it the way I did it. And if I did take them out there, I want them to be on their best behavior like me and Redman. Where the checks are coming, we're not trying to be an issue. When Murray had them guys out there, they were uncontrollable. They were on drugs. They were uncontrollable. It wasn't a good situation. And it was very dangerous and volatile. And let me say this to you too. If you're gonna do that kind of shit, go to the UFC. Go get a check doing that. No, I'm just saying because I can hook that up too. I can get you a check in that. I come from the fight game. I know where I know what that is. This is not that in the hip hop game. And another thing too, Black America, remember this too. Why would you want to scare the little white girl? She's not gonna buy your record.
Facts.
You don't want nobody to be scared of you. So you don't want promoters to get the just that you're not workable and they say, oh, this guy is, oh, you got all these. You're scaring the money away. The bag is never gonna come to you. So you
saying rappers gotta play the game in a way. If they want the money.
Yeah, Will Smith got the money because he played the game. He played it just like they want. I'm sure he's a little brasher than we see. But he's playing the game to get what he needs to get for his family. He's genius. Redman is probably one of the toughest guys too. I grabbed Redman, was slinging him around. Redman was fighting back, and I was like, okay, this kid ain't no punk. I can definitely call this guy my brother because he's not a punk and he ain't cowering. So these are the kind of guys, like I said, you have to play the game. Look at Redman and Method Man.
Right.
They go and do shows, they don't even need security. Everybody loves them. It's no issue. They go get them, no headaches.
Yeah, household names.
These are household names. These are guys that you could put your brand behind. This is the kind of career, and this is what I was trying to get through to him. This is what I was trying to get through to these young kids before they were after us. But they didn't see Black community. They didn't respect the OGs.
Yeah. We say that a lot too. That's why we try to interview a lot of the OGs, because a lot of these kids, man, they don't show no love to the I hate to beat a dead horse, but we was talking about it with a few artists on here. But Fredro Starr gave us the best answer, because we was talking about how the younger generation, the younger Black people don't want to support the older rappers, but in other genres, they support them.
But I want to say this too. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Fredro said, "Fuck all that. Go where they like you at. Go where they love you at. If they love you in Thailand, do your shit in Thailand."
No, he's right. But here's what I want to say too. Most of these Black artists, though, you gotta respect it. So, like, one thing I want to say, MC Hammer was a credit to our culture. I love him, even though we had a little situation out there in LA with MC Hammer's crew and EPMD. And we were fighting some of their people, but nothing against Hammer. I love everything he represented. I love everything Rakim represents. These guys are stand-up guys in our community. Eric B, all of them, just stand-up dudes that always represented, and they never made me feel shame of being who I was in their presence. They were always on point, and we need more of that. And we need to be more. Stop biting our nails. Let's talk about these issues that we have. Let's start addressing, like I did tonight with the Murray scenario. The cockiness wasn't called for, and nobody was there to say, okay, you're fucking up right now, and this is gonna happen. And then we could have all saved that scenario and saved him the trip to go down that road when we older and we know better. And now he learns after he fell on his face, and he got to come back and go, yo, now you understand, because you could have saw that 10 rows down before you fell. People got to understand that we don't want to see our people victims of the same BS. We want to use our platforms to uplift each other and create jobs so we can stop asking white America for shit. We can do things ourselves for ourselves if we just work together. Dr. Dre proved that. He worked together until Suge started, him and Suge, man, they were saving people's lives. And Suge wasn't the baddest guy. He would get up in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, to pay people's rent so they didn't get evicted. There was no money. They got money and then they got turned out. They never had nothing. It was too much.
Too fast, probably too.
You think Dr. Dre wanted to punch D Barnes in the head? No. He didn't know what to do when he found out she did the interview with him. He just lost it. He was too passionate about his career. I know. I've been around these people. He's very passionate about what he's doing.
Right.
He should be.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just very passionate about what he's doing. Then when that happened and somebody was chuckling, he figured he was on Front Street. He just reacted.
I'll ask you where your can you turn your video on so you can be on the screen? Because you ain't on the screen right now.
Oh, okay. Let me help you
Yeah,
out.
it got you off the screen. It took you off the screen because your video ain't on.
You see me?
Not yet.
Oh, snap. I got to go back to my... Yo, am I still not? Oh, here I come. Here I come. I see you.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, so
that's better. You'll be on the screen.
No, yeah, you good right there.
Yeah, people don't realize that, but that's what I be saying. People don't really think about those things. They don't give this the chance to think about those things.
I was gonna ask you about so how are you in DMX cool now?
I never had an issue with DMX. I think DMX fell under the pretense of gun, like he says. I met DMX in jail, and we had a little, not even a battle. It was just we were rhyming. He turned it into that, I guess, to sell the story. And that's another thing. That's another thing. I gotta forgive him because we are cultured by another culture, and they're always putting us against each other.
Always.
There can never be two of us. They gotta put us against each other. Yo, you're the wolf, he's the dog. Fight. Why? Fight him. One of you gotta be the best. Isn't hip hop based on battle? It's like, yo, it's crazy, bro. And then he's another one that had a crazy too, bro. Like, let's talk about that. Wouldn't we get somewhere talking about how you got into that situation? How'd you got the smoking B-Rock and all that? Isn't it more? Can we help you with that? Like, then the fight, what are you fighting? I don't even know you enough not to like you.
Yeah.
I don't know you enough not to not like you. You had some struggles, so did I. We both was locked up. We got to come out, hate each other, right? We got to play this movie. What's it called? A penitentiary. We got to play penitentiary. You got to be happy.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, so what made you do that? What made you do the beef documentary then? Because I know you was on the beef documentary.
Well, here's the thing. They was doing an interview with PMD, and Paris was telling me, he said, I don't know if you should do it or not. It was there. He's like, we'll do a segment here. I did it. But my thing was this. I beat DMX's ass in the fight, bro. DMX is nowhere near a problem with his hands like me, bro. Like, DMX wouldn't, I would put him in a hospital, bro. Like, he's little. He's not going to be able to block what I'm going to do. I don't have any beef with him. And if we did have beef, like, you know, we can talk about it, man, brother. Because I'm telling you right now, that ain't a situation that he's gonna walk out of. I was locked up for my hands, man. I locked up for putting people in the hospital, not smoking crack. My thing was physical. I can fight. I should have been a pugilist professional. He's not going to be able to, you know, what's like I said, look, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it stacked. You know, you're inviting people to your manhood. It's like a little, how do you know, what else was I supposed to do? How do you ignore that? You know, and then I say this to you too. I seen him in Club Live and I let him live, man. He was in there with two guys. It could have went. I was with Flo Rida. I was deep that night. I could have, you know, I'm in Miami. I'm in Florida. I'm not in New York. He didn't know that. I could have walked up on him and smashed him. But you know what? This is rap beef. This ain't got nothing to do with street beef. But like I asked him, when he got on TV and he was like, oh yeah, I fight, I do this. And I was like, well, you know, you talking my thing. Let's, you know, we could, you know, you and Funkmaster Flex was having fun with the interview, but when the paperwork, you know, nobody really wanted to entertain. They just want to see, that's what Black Americans do. They want to talk, but I'm a real dude. Everybody, if you look at that and do something against me, you know, I don't know why we're talking. You know, about a record he had nothing to do with. You know, you know what it is, I think? It's just that scenario of white folks saying things and putting things in the air, and they gotta take off with each other. And you know, it's cool, but like I grew up in Brownsville. Every time I got locked up, I ran to Brownsville. My big brother knocked sugar out. It's not an issue, bro. No, I just not trying to be a nigga, bro. I'm trying to be a strong Black entrepreneur and get out of here. But we can all be some fighting motherfuckers. That ain't the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't the issue. It's never the issue with me. You know, I can handle my business real sufficient. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is, I don't know you enough not to like you. But if you really want to, you know, do that, you know, get in touch with them. I mean, we can do it. I mean, I do it in your own hood. Like I do that. That's what I come from. That I'm not gonna, you know, I'll Kimbo slice him or Muhammad Ali him, however he want to do it. But I don't know him enough to make it a situation like that. If he wants to do that, I mean, I'll do that. But I'm just saying, I come from that. That's not hard for me to do.
Right.
You know, I had an AAU card. I ran with Ralph. I ran with Lance Holly. I used to be in the fights with Mark Brillin and Star Rock City. I was a fighter at first. And all I'm saying is, I don't know him enough, but he's not that. Now, if you was talking about Killer B from Queensbridge, I'd be a little, okay, we're going to have a great, it's going to be, he's not that. Killer B was that. Kevin Black was that. Havens brother was that. DMX is not that. DMX got jumped in Yonkers and they broke his jaw and put him in the hospital. Kevin Black Kevin Black would take the shoes off your feet. Let me tell you something. I seen Kevin Black. We was in Government State upstate. And Italian, I don't know if he was Italian, some kind of, anyway, he woke up with the kid's shoes on his feet. The kid asked for his shoes back. And there was no CO in the bubble. When Kevin got finished smashing the kid, he left with a girl. This was my kid's life. They took him to the hospital in intensive care, and the dirty shoes that Kevin Black wore for Queensbridge was on the back of the girdle, leaving it. He had his shoes still on his feet. I seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ask Intelligent Hoodlum. Prodigy, not Prodigy. Havoc's brother was 52 Comstock, straight up, strong arm, fight you, knock you out, take your shit off your feet, bro. I seen it. I was there. He's not that kind of guy in jail, bro.
But like you said,
every time he got into a fight, he got beat up, bro. He's not that guy. He could talk that shit on record. Every time he got in trouble, robbed somebody, they beat him up and broke his jaw. I never got beat up in the street.
No, but it's kind of like what you said. It's kind of like what you said earlier about people making people think somebody is the giant or the bigger person, though. Like the way
That's part of it. That's part of it too. But you got to remember this too. Black America don't have no power. So when DMX and all of these guys are walking around, they're trying to figure it out, right? DMX comes out with his first song, Born Loser. It flops on Columbia. It doesn't do nothing. Next thing you know, he runs with the Rough Riders. He gets with the crew. They have the right name for the crew. They put the bicycles together. They put some dudes in there doing tricks. Everybody it's deep. Everybody's scared. It looks big. The Locks is robbing their ass off. DMX can run. Drag on Eve. It took off. No problem. Now, you inviting somebody to your manhood that was locked up with you. That's a practitioner with his hands, bro, that gets busy. I mean, you know, it could have went either way, nigga. You know how that shit go, but look all I'm saying. I'm just keeping it gully. You know, when I went up to the Apollo and saw him, and Redman was like, yo, what are you doing? I said, nah, tap that nigga on the shoulder. And Redman tapped DMX took off. In front of LL, in front of Method Man, he didn't want that. I would have, let me tell you something. You know, God bless my mother and them, and I ain't trying to be no NIGGER because, you know, they be on me about that shit. But hand to hand, I would have crucified that boy, bro. He's little. As soon as he would have got hit, he would have had to defend. I mean, and when the rage is kicking in, I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. Because when I'm hitting to take you out of there. It's not going to be like I'm touching you to play with you. I outweigh you. I'm bigger than you. You're going to smoking Joe Frazier you. No way. I'm a Muhammad Ali you. As soon as I see you, there's no way. And in fact, like you could talk, everybody's talking tough till it goes down. That's another thing you got to remember. God bless the real 50 Cent, Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin was, everybody was, oh yeah. Fort Greene, he was living Fort Greene, he'd come from Fort Greene, and then we go to Albany Project. So the Spanish dude caught him with the vest, it went down, pat, shot him, dead. So everybody's the man where we come from till it goes down. Everybody's the man. You know, everybody. Everybody's the man till they get caught. Like Mike Tyson says, everybody got a plan till they get hit.
Till they get punched in the mouth, huh?
Right, everybody's the man, bro. So, you know, I understand that, but like I'm saying, I'm being real now. I'm saying, I don't know you like that. You try to take this rap shit and you know, all right, cool, but I don't know you enough. But if you really got something against me, why you ain't do nothing? Why you ain't every chance? You could have been did it. You could have got it. I mean, and I know it's bullshit because I know you ain't gonna try. 95 out of 10 unless you're a UFC trained, can't fight anyone. You're gonna go grab something. You're gonna need to. You're not gonna listen. They're not built like that. My little brother, 13th title, never lost a pro fight in the heavyweight ranks ever. My god brother, Bobby Gamboa, Tito Ortiz's cousin, put Rampage in the UFC. I come from the fight game, bro. First thing I do is fight, bro. Then I rap. Redman's first single, Time for Some Action, bro. Like, we're fighters, bro. First. F-I-G-H-T-E-R. First. Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, my heroes. You not gonna do? So, you know, I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just saying that he's not built like that. And he's still not built like that. He never was. You know, everybody's the man till you get hit.
No, I heard, Mike did say that. No, but
That's
I
man.
think like
Mike Tyson's my man too. I grew up in Long Island. Tony Fortunato grew up with Custom Model. They're both from the Bronx. My godfather, Tony Fortunato, a guy, they come from the St. Nick's Arena. If anybody's pugilist, they know about boxing and the fight game. There was no Madison Square Garden or Sunnyside Gardens. The first fight club was St. Nick's Arena. My godfather, my bloodline comes back from that. Sugar Ray Robinson, Emil Griffin, Tony Fortunato, Customado. We come from that. You know, we're fighters, bro. I want to shout out to Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, I'll say what. So why you didn't go pro?
I didn't go pro because when I seen Muhammad Ali shaking and I beat Tony Malloy, I didn't want to do that. I said to myself, I'm not going to end like this. You know, I still one of my faculties. True story, man. I beat Tony Malloy in '88 and in Bayshore Boxing Club in front of all my friends. Beat his ass. You know, I let him win the fight, man. I said, you know what? Because if I'd have won that fight, I'd have had to turn pro. And I made a decision in my life. I made a decision. I said, yo, man, you know, you got an album, man. You wrote an album, you know, try this, man. You at least, because remember what I told y'all before I started the interview. Every fighter I seen, Jack Johnson included, all ended in the ring, old men with no other profession but that. And no rapper out here could deal with my hands. It'd be bad, bro. I went to death row and was laughing when I was seeing what was happening to them because I can handle, physically, I can handle that. You know, that's not gonna be, you know, don't get me wrong, they pull a gun out, you know, it's a little different story, but I'm talking about hand to hand though. It's gonna be easy work, but my thing is this. I had to have heart to go up in there, knowing that they was beefing with the East Coast and go up in there. I had to have that kind of tenacity and believe in myself to go into a total different situation and have confidence that I can honestly say that I don't walk in the place I can't walk out of. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Who you following in boxing now currently?
I like the kid from Newark that likes Redman.
Stevenson. Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah,
man.
I like him.
Yeah, Stevenson nice.
Yeah, I got some boxing. I don't know if you can see him. The boxing post. Look, you see him?
Yeah, I see him. I see Jack Johnson and them up there.
Yeah, I be fucking with boxing, man. Boxing is shit.
But you know, you Google my little brother Daryl King David Madison. That's my little brother, my baby brother. I trained him since he was 2 years old. You know, he got with Don King, and Don King, you know, he knew he was a southpaw, and he tied him up so he couldn't box no more, and then had to retire. But still, 13 titles, undefeated. He's a good fighter. I brought Willie Douglas to the fight game. He got a fight with Tony Littles, Lou Jewell's fighter. It changed the game, you know. So, you know, my god brother Ralph Mann beat Kevin Kelly twice, beat Freddie Liberatore, you know what I'm saying? We was on our way. It's just, I didn't want to end my thing in that boxing ring like they did. To see Ali like that really hurt. You know why?
Wow.
Here's my hero. And what was it, 82, 84 in the ring with Larry Holmes with a mustache? You know what I'm saying? Heavy, out of shape, trying to get a check, trying to get to the next check. Nah, man. Joe Louis fights Rocky Marciano, gets laid out. And yo, come on, man. Sugar Ray Rock all the way to the end. I'm talking about all the great. Sugar Ray landed. Hector Camacho knocked you out at 42? Yeah. Come on, man. It's like that bothered me. I said to myself, this is all y'all can do? This is all we can do.
Even like Roy Jones and Evander Holyfield too.
Yeah, but at least Roy, I'm gonna say this about Roy. And I'm gonna say this to you too. And Roy knows what I'm talking about when I say this, because had I would have turned pro, I would have met Roy Jones in the box off for the Olympic shot. I'd have met him. Same weight class, me, him, and Bahan Hopkins, same age. That was the guys that I would have, and I'd probably, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that. It would have been very interesting. I'm gonna just say that.
Stop that shit.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. It'd have been interesting, you know what I'm saying? But I had more, you know what I'm saying? But here, let me just say this. You see when Roy Jones lost against Tarvis, because he had already won the title a couple times. He didn't have that heat no more. That's another thing that boxers suffer from, and I suffered from too. You're doing it so much that it's not exciting no more. It becomes dangerous because now you're fighting, but there's no fire behind your fighting. You're just going through the motions. Dangerous. Then Tarvin hit him, and he's on the ground. And now when that happens, you gotta beat your mental mind up. Say, how do you recover from this? Ali was able to do it, but every time Ali did it, right, Ali got deeper in shit with other things. Like, okay, he beat Foreman, right? That wasn't enough. But that's like beating Sonny Liston when you first came out in 1962. Okay, in 1964 when you was first heavyweight champion. Then the government takes your title. Then you beat Foreman. Then you lose your wife. Then you're in the league with Larry Holmes. See? That's how I look at it, chronologically. You beat Liston, then you beat Foreman, who's coming from Liston's camp. So he had it all figured out. Like, these are the same kind of guys. Only Liston was a better boxer than him, which is true. Liston had a better jab. He got close. He knew what to do. Foreman just wang punches. Ali knew. Let me just get him tired. He's younger. And think about it. Ali he gets the credit because he knew. He said, let me just take him out to the deep water and drown him. That's what he did. So it was. Then he's going to come back after he spent the $8 million. And think about all the mistakes he made too. He said, oh, I'm going to go to, what do you say? Oh, I'm going to help my people. He went right back to America and spent the $8 million. You didn't go to Africa and go build the economy. You went right back to America. And then you went with a lighter woman. She was look like this, like she was, I'm not saying she was white, but shit, she could, if we saw her parents was white, we would have been like, oh, we wouldn't have been too shocked. She was real light skinned. So that's what I'm saying. And then you start contradicting yourself. So this made me make my moves differently. I said, yo, man. And then listen, guys, let me tell you some real shit too. I still think about this to this day. Did I make the right decision? Because I went through a lot of shit with hip hop, like this DMX shit. I don't understand. I'd be like, yo, this shit is crazy. Then, EPMD, all this crazy shit. But I attributed to Black America being fucking crazy. Not me. Because Black America to me is fucking crazy, bro. No, I'm seriously. Black America to me is crazy. I love it, but it's crazy to me. I don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Like how they do, like Martin Luther King. How do you tell the government what you're gonna do and 3 days later you dead? That's just crazy to me.
You mentioned Hopkins.
You tell them what you're gonna do.
I said you mentioned Hopkins too.
I remember one time when I was upstate. Yeah, I remember when he got knocked out the ring. But I remember one time before Hopkins even became hot, I was up in the Catskill Mountains training, and he was training too. He was training in a place called Concord Hotel. He was in the basement. I was in the basement, and Holyfield, Lennox Lewis was coming to see. I was in all those circles. You know what I'm saying? I was in all those circles, and it's just two different industries. Boxing industry. Buddy McGirt is one of my best friends too. These are the people I grew up with ever since I was a kid. These are the people I hung with. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get in trouble. I didn't try to get into the drug game and all that stupid shit. I was really fighting, really to be, somebody. And then when I seen Ali go out like that, and then I looked Sugar Ray Robinson went out like that, and I didn't want to do that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be one of them dudes to say, well, yeah, you turn, because remember, at 147 pounds, you got to have a lot of fights, which I could have did, probably with me and Buddy McGirt eventually, fighting for a title. That, it was my man, I'm bigger than him. And, I learned a lot of shit from him too. But I was a little faster and I had a little more flash than them, but, you know what I'm saying? But what is this going to happen to the age you go to the point where, what else can you do? That's what I kept saying. What else can you do? And I don't want to mention this to you. Then rap, remember I told you the girl that I was dating started liking rappers. So, and I could do that too. So I was like, it was, the boxing shit wasn't cute in the 80s no more. It started running its course. 70s, you was a boxer, you was the man. Like towards like late 80s, that shit started getting weak because the rappers were getting money now.
Yeah.
So that made my decision too, let me, but remember, I listen, my godfather was in the US, American Boxing Federation ever since we was babies. We all had ABF cars. We all ran out with Pete Brodsky and Bruce Silverglade on Front Street in Brooklyn. That was the hub. I would go when I was in Brownsville, I would go train with Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe, his trainer was George Washington, the same trainer as Mark Breland. These are all my metropolitan.
That's
like,
wild.
We were all, they was all our people. It was all our people. They know my godfather by first name. Connie Bryant, check this out. God bless Connie Bryant from Knight's Gym in Harlem. He's the one that trained my godfather. Tough Tony Fortunato, Italian fighter out of the Bronx. He was Sugar Ray Robinson's trainer too. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I was saying, to me, I say Black America is crazy because not in a bad way, just in the way what happened to us as far as slavery and what was done. To me, it's crazy.
Yeah, especially with all the talent we got. We got all the talent. We got everything.
Yeah, not only do we got, but not just that, how we do each other, how Muhammad Ali would tell Joe Frazier, look like a gorilla, but he trying to lift black people up. That's crazy.
True. But that's them getting caught up in that. That's them getting caught up in the business part of it though.
Yeah, but don't you watch what you say? Don't you care about what his mama feel like? And he go home, Joe Frazier crying. When you were broke, he put the money out of his pocket to help you. And you're gonna get on TV and put a gorilla in your hand and hit him and say that he's a gorilla? That's crazy to me. I'm serious. That's just crazy. To me, that's just crazy. Like, let me give another example. My family, and I see how black people do each other, right? And I see how they go to the bottom. James Brown's mother, I read all these books. James Brown's mother was in the $2 whorehouses. He goes say hello to his mother in the street, she walk by him. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me, that what he had to deal with. James Brown, let me tell you something. James Brown, best entertainer in the world next to Michael Jackson. We would drive to Queens to my mother's house, and she would always say, go James Brown's house. I remember looking as a little kid, right? Then when I did this autobiography and read it and seen that his mother had him on the train track, cut the umbilical cord and just gave it to the father, like, it's like crazy. Like, then the father went to the army and James Brown had to do what he had to do to become who he was. God gave him the gift because his mother left and his father left. But it wasn't the parents' fault. It was because Black America had they couldn't govern themselves. White folks were saying Black people at that time weren't even humans. They were 3/4 of human beings, they said. So this made them crazy to me. Not by choice, by what was done to them. And the anger, how they had to deal with it. Sonny Liston couldn't read and write. It wasn't his fault. When he was a little kid, he grew up in Arkansas. They cut the tree to know how old he was. That's how he knew how old he was. The marks on the tree. The father was so frustrated, he would just beat him, all the kids. Sonny had to, this is what I say, I'm not crazy by choice, crazy by his design. And to this day, it's never been fixed.
Right, but when you say a lot of people that's locked up got that same issue too, right? They crazy by design.
They're crazy by design, and I'm not. That's what I'm saying. They're crazy by design, not by choice. Let's think about the shit that they do to each other. Black on black crime, not just black on black crime. How they feed drugs to each other. How Floyd Mayweather said his father sold the mama drugs.
Damn.
Crazy by design.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I feel it. Also, so you agree with this too? I agree. I say that. Let's say you got a non-violent person that get a prison sentence of like 5-6 years. In that 5 or 6 years, that person gonna turn violent, correct? Because they gotta survive while they're in there.
Yeah. Not only that, think about what happens when a child sees his mother in an uncompromised position and it plays in his brain. Think about when a child sees his father get killed and it plays in his brain. Think about when a kid sees his little sibling die or burn up and it just plays. You hear the stories, Rich Porter, you found a little kid Darnell, had nothing to do, nothing. The uncle cut his finger off. Crazy by design. And then when you hear stories like Mike Tyson, that's what I was telling Mike, I'll be hard on Mike on certain shit like too. I'll be like, yo, I remember Mike seeing me at one time in LA. Mike said, I bit his ear. He said, how did I look? He wanted to know how I looked. I was like, because he know. He said, I look bad, right? I look bad. No, he wanted to know. He was like, yo, I look bad, right? I said, nah, I understand. That's what happened. He said he headbutted me. He started explaining what happened. And me and Mike have great conversations, man. And I understood him, I really do. But one thing I want him to understand in this too, God chose him after Ali to put boxing together because Customato, an Italian man, adopted you, took you out of Black America. In that moment of clarity, look what you got, look what you did. And as soon as you took the white man out of the equation and you put him back in Black America, what happened? He self-destruct. See what I'm saying? We don't have, something happened in Black America. Either God cursed us, because when Christ was on that cross, either we was mocking him or laughing. Something happened. There's no way in nothing. Nobody can tell me different. Because I can walk them through history and just keep going like, well, this happened. Tell me, I just think Black America got cursed. Somewhere along the way, they did something. You know what I'm saying? They're cocky, they're flashy. They still don't own shit. Or they buy everybody else's shit. Yo, they buy more Chinese food than Chinese people. They buy Italian food more than Italians buy your shit. They support everybody but themselves.
Yeah, man. In Baltimore, you know what, man? We had it was a soul food restaurant, and the damn Chinese people came. Man, this is talking about you saying we don't own nothing. So they finally had this booming soul food restaurant. The Chinese people came in, showed them some money, bought the soul food place from them, and made the black people show them how the recipes to make the food that they were selling.
You're crazy. And that's another thing I want to say too. And this is another thing I want to say too. As soon as black people get their hands on some money, they cut their people off. As soon as they get their hands on something, they want to move away from their people. This is in our DNA, man. It's like crazy shit, bro. We want to frame ourselves, and then when we get around the other people, we somewhat similar. I noticed this too. When I seen two white guys fight, they could beat the dog shit at each other. They'll pick each other up. They won't want to kill each other. Or when black people fight each other, they gotta kill each other. They go all the way. And I think that, and this is another reason why I took time out of this rap shit too. When I seen that shit at Death Row happen, witnessed it with my own eyes and seen how the shit was and how there was no respect for none, like what they was doing, there was no respect. I seen that. It reflected on how I feel about Black America too.
Yeah, so like, so how was Death Row?
Unorganized, just like Black America. Dr. Dre shit was organized because Dre knew one thing about Dr. Dre. He was a fucking genius. Like me and him are similar in the way we, like Dr. Dre can direct. He knew, he left no stones unturned directing. When he walked through the G Thing record and they showed the barbecue in the park, that's what they do in LA. He gave you an inside view of what LA, how it is. They got the low riders, they ride through. You see the girl and her kid had his Dre's other baby in the car on the seat, no seat belt. You saw all of that shit. Everything was, he's showing you exactly how he walked in the house, how the girl said, "Hey, Dre, heard your new album." She drinking Kool-Aid. And then she'll come up and all that shit is a reality. He walked it through you. He walked through, and I don't think people understand that. No, they don't understand it. And I think that me paying attention to that, and then it went crazy because look, Suge never had that kind of money.
Right.
So when he had that kind of money and then he had these kind of thoughts, they started coming to life. Suge wasn't no gang in the beginning. Suge went to school. So I feel bad too because here he was, and he wasn't all bad, y'all. I'm talking about 6 o'clock in the morning. Suge, we getting evicted. He was helping people too.
Yeah. He tried to keep that thing running. But like you said, it was just unorganized in a way.
Not only that, he didn't understand, but he wasn't experienced in nothing either. He thought, I got 50% of the record label. That's good for me. No, it's not, because you got a guy that sonically, he didn't understand this part. That's what I mean about being ignorant.
Yeah, because he had money. All them artists they had back then, man, shit, that's a gold mine.
But one thing he didn't understand is, are you sonically correct to create this music? No. Dr. Dre sonically correct. He walked out that room, he had that shit bouncing off the wall. He know how to make the motherfucking the frequencies the way they need to be. He know how to do that shit. He's sonically correct. He knows what it's supposed to sound like. He don't gotta produce all the music. He go, oh, give me that. I'm gonna put it through here, that. He knows how to manipulate sound.
Yeah, I ain't know him and Sam Snead did the damn Keep Their Heads Ringing and the other joint. They did Keep Your Heads Ringing and Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, and I brought Sam Snead in from Pittsburgh. That was my guy.
You introduced him to Death Row.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had some bangers on there.
I brought Sam Snead to the Hit Squad first, but you know, he did the second album, but he didn't get compensated, so I had to take him over there and get him some money.
Yeah, that's where he blew up at.
He like, bitch, I'm Sam Snead. You better recognize.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that's him. You know,
shit, he did the I Smell Pussy
Black,
beat.
Yeah, he did that too. And this is what I be saying about Black culture. See what I'm saying? Paris didn't pay him for that first album that he did for K Solo. He didn't pay him, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna eat it. Whatever, it's your deal, right?
Yeah.
Black America. Look, he goes over here, he blows up.
Yeah.
Now, you don't tell me we couldn't have used him over here. Another thing too, you hear DOS effects on TV. Oh man, you know, I wanted a beat from Eric Sherman because the way Paris did the deal, Eric Sherman, his crew, wasn't allowed to work with the Hit Squad.
Oh.
So if the house divided, that's the first time. Listen, you talking about crazy? That's past crazy. That's past crazy. But let's attribute it to everything else in Black America, though. Crazy, right? Now, the Bible says if the house goes against each other, there it is, right? Right?
Facts.
Because you go against each other. It's like you guys own the show.
Right.
Y'all splitting the proceeds for the money. So y'all work together, you're always gonna make money. The minute y'all cut it, split in half, the shit's gonna fall because any house divided amongst itself can't rise.
That's a fact.
They weren't an exception to the rule.
Right.
They were supposed to say, okay, I'm gonna do the business, you do the beats, you get the 25%, I get 25, let's make it work. You collect all the money.
Mm-hmm.
A Black America don't work like that. They think it's their first time out. Like it's their first, yo, I ain't gonna get a shot again. And they go crazy. And next thing you know, here we are. I'm telling you, real shit, bro. And you can't explain it to somebody when they're going through it because you can't tell. It's like a Jones, like they're like they never had it. And then you get
it's just money keep coming in, but yeah, you don't think it's gonna ever end. That's the thing. They don't think the money gonna never stop.
Right, and then you got Murray on TV going, or I think I think it's an interview. He's saying whatever. I ain't even gonna repeat it because it's so fucking stupid. I'm just saying to say this. Nobody listened to me, and I knew that shit was what it was. And guess what? You can't tell nobody nothing, and still they'll still try to point a finger. You know, this isn't my culture. They'll never say, my bag, I fucked up or this. Now somebody got to be one on the floor.
But that's how we do shit, man. You remember back in the day, hey, you got made fun of. You got made fun of because you want to take care of your family. Like you can't. I can't hang out tonight, bro. I got the kids, or they're like, oh, this nigga right here, he gotta take care of his kids. Like, damn, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
We're doing the right thing.
Right. But, it's just like I said, we have some stories and I just don't get it. I'd be like, Eddie Murphy would always get told by Spike Lee, yo, man, let's create our circle. And Eddie Murphy would be like, Black people can't work together. He's like, we can't do it. Right. Eddie Murphy would tell him, and he getting the check doing it the way he's doing it. And Spike Lee be like, just let me do a movie with you, and Eddie Murphy would explain to him. He said, it's crazy. Only time, and this is why I know they curse. They come together. It's in tragedy. When they done fucked up all the money, then they gotta look at each other and be like, yo. Then they come back. They don't come back on their own when the stakes is high. They want to shit on each other.
Nah, they gonna come back when they both got $100 million in the bank. They don't fool with each other when it's like that. They wait till they got 200,000 left. They like, let's try to bring back this, or let's work on this, let's work on that. Yeah.
But you don't realize that they got it together. They can own their own shit. They can own their own shit, and they can only they can do so much better with it'd be generational wealth.
Yeah, look,
generation to the next generation.
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn. I was talking to a Dunkin' Donuts owner. He told me, he said him and his two Arab dudes. They said they bought one Dunkin' Donuts together. They made enough money and bought a second Dunkin' Donuts and gave it to the brother. So now they both own they started out sharing the Dunkin' Donuts. Now they both got their own Dunkin' Donuts. And now they got 2 or 3 Dunkin' Donuts under them that other people in the family got. Just something small like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not shit. I just don't understand. It's crazy, bro. It's just crazy, bro. They don't get it. And it's a shame they don't get it. When I read Martin Luther King's biography and he said that about all the people, and then he died at the Arena Hotel, I was like, I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, yo, he went on TV and told people what they did, what he found out they did, and told them he was going to go up there to Washington and ask for the check. But he was dead 3 days before he got there. 3 days before he showed up at the Lorraine Hotel, they killed him. But he broadcast to them, I caught you. You're giving the Europeans this money that you're telling us to pull our bootstraps up when that's our money. And shot him. It's crazy. Fucking crazy, bro.
They doing that now.
No, I'm just saying. Just like I'm saying with this culture, right? You could have owned hip hop, right? We only got one masterpiece. Snoop even said it. Snoop told me, he said, Solo. You thought these niggas that Master P got money.
Yeah, that's why Snoop was so damn loyal to Master P. Even though people was talking shit about him, he like, ain't nothing y'all can say bad about Master P. Even the dude Anthony Johnson that played Ezell in Friday, he was like, shit, I did Friday, I got 10,000. I got the hookup, I got $1 million from Master P.
Yeah.
He said that himself.
Master P understands generational wealth, and he understands the wealth of Black America.
At the same time, like you say, stuff is crazy. At the same time, him and his brother is beefing. Well, not beefing, but they going through their things. So he still got his problems at the end of the day too.
Who, Silk?
No, C Murder and Master P.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's always going to be because he always told C Murder not to do the things that he do. So,
yeah.
That's why that is, and that's common sense, And I'm always having that with my little brother too. It's always going to be a drama because they're always going to want to be right about something. I know that's with my little brother. Like, to this day, we don't really talk, but I'd be like, yo, I did what I could do for you. You don't understand? Keep it moving. I get it. But listen to this. It's just like I was saying. They'll go to Walmart. They'll go to Publix. They'll go to all of them European stores, and they'll give them all their money. How far do you think that black dollar goes? How far?
Yeah, we the biggest consumers. We the biggest consumers in the country.
Right. Spanish people got Sedanos and Bravos. What do black people have?
We really got.
What do they have?
I think I seen Killer. I think Killer Mike did it. Yeah, Killer Mike did a thing where he wanted to only buy black. He had to go like 10. He had to go like 10, 15 miles to get to the black supermarket. Everything because he was trying to just consume all black things, but it tired him out because shit, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that many around.
Right.
And it was expensive too.
Yeah, not only was it expensive, how about what they did to Haiti, man, when Haiti took their freedom back? There is no, how do they make money over there? There's no buy and trade, there's no barter. There's no barter. There's no barter. So if you can't barter and trade, how does Haiti make money? That's another thing that has to stop because they beat French. Nobody wants to barter and trade with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy, bro. That don't make no damn sense. Haiti wouldn't look like that if you had, let's say for instance, we made a car out of Haiti. And we took that movie Stan Lee made, Black Panther, we made a company coming out of Haiti and they made a Black Panther car. That place would look totally better than the Dominican Republic if you just had a couple of things coming out of there that people buy from them.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't it happen?
Shit, man, I've been talking about that. I've been saying shit, the black people could have had their own NFL, NBA by now.
They won't do that. Michael Jordan was told by his man, he said, yo, let's do the sneaker deal with this black company. He said, I ain't gonna be known in 10 years. Look at it, look at the franchise he got.
Yeah, $1.6 billion business.
Right, to me, I think they're crazy. I think it's because of everything they went through. They crazy, and if you give them some money, Can't have no conversation with them niggas. They ain't trying to. They ain't never had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is they never had nothing. You give them money, it's worse.
I admit, hey, what Kanye West said. He said the same thing. He was gonna save his money, then he blew it all on. What did he say on that song? I can't remember now, but yeah, that's just how we do.
Yo, and then they get hooked up with when they get hooked up outside of the culture, right? They really lose their brain. They go get on TV and say Harriet Tubman ain't free no slaves. I just was like,
yeah,
another crazy moment.
It's like. Yeah, nah, I don't know. Yeah, with that one, Ye set himself back. Oh, he said, I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven, but I woke up and bought a necklace instead. And that's just what we do, shit. Like they said, if you want to stop, I used to make a joke. I say when something bad happened, like a police shooting happened and black people are all riled up, they put out a goddamn Jordan sneaker and call them, they all get back in line and go buy the Jordan now. They like, oh shit. I forgot George Floyd just got killed. They put out a bread 11.
Yo, it's funny you said that. And it's funny you said that, right? They will do that marching shit in the street and do all of that, act like they care. But George Floyd would have starved in their hood too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something wrong with our brains because if you could see him die, then everybody feels the tragedy of that.
Right.
But if he's walking the street, he walked up to you and said, "Can I get $100?" Everybody would walk by.
Right. But what Biggie say? You ain't nobody till somebody kill you. You're nobody till somebody kill you. Because like you said.
Think what they did to Jesus. Jesus is dying. They said, "Give us Barabbas, crucify him." This is black people, bro.
Yeah.
Listen what they said. He's healing. People are dead. They're walking out the cave. Right. Alive. They can't see. Leprosy being healed. They said, "Give us Barabbas, the murderer and the raper, and kill him."
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's yeah.
So listen when you look at it, right, and everybody be like, "Oh man, it's crazy." You can't have a conversation with them. If George Floyd was in the street, I'm calling them all out. If he was in their street, walking down the street, how many people would walk by him and not give him $1? Fuck the 20. How many would have gave him $1?
Right. We said the same thing. We talked about the same thing with Nipsey Hussle. Look, people didn't even know who Nipsey Hussle was, some of them. But now they love Nipsey Hussle. They buying all the music. And it's good for his family that they doing that. But that's just what we do. Nobody want to be the one left out. Like, oh, I don't want to be the one left out not knowing who he is or not doing this. So I'm gonna act like I know him and do. Man, it was crazy. But a lot of his family, they went after a couple people that was trying to like make money off of that. Cause people was making up T-shirts and shit when he died, trying to sell them online, all kind of stuff. But they ain't never even listening to his music.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's just Black America to me is just, it really needs to rectify itself. Maybe God come back and fix it. I'm just saying.
Look, we're gonna title this show Black America, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate the game you giving, because the thing is, you just giving us knowledge, man, and we appreciate it. From real talk, man, from the bottom.
No, I know, but I could hear it from y'all, because you know what? Y'all are intelligent Black men seeing what I'm seeing. And I'm saying the same thing, man. A lot of people are scared to talk about it, but I think we should have these conversations. I think we should engage in these conversations, because what we do, we letting the society know that we paying attention to what's going on. And there's a lot of the things that we're uncovering are, troubling us, but a couple of us can get it right and make a vortex and make some things change. But majority of Black America, record I wrote was Black America, somebody who's killing who, and it meant, just like I'm seeing the stuff that I see now, it's just, we're our worst enemy, man. It's not the white man no more. You can't say it's that, because they done freed, the abolitionists, number one, abolitionists were white. I can ask 95% of these Black men who John Brown is, they don't know. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You ask them, say, who John Brown? They go,
I don't know.
Ask them, right? Ask them who Stonewall Jackson is. They don't know. Ask them who General Grant is. They don't know. They don't read. They don't know history. Ask them, when did slavery end? They don't know. Ask them when it began. They can't tell you.
Yeah, General Grant was the president, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Grant was the Union soldier who got rid of Stonewall Jackson and the Confederate soldiers. Grant, Grant,
Yeah.
was a Union captain who got rid of them, the general. Not a captain, he was a general. And Stonewall Jackson, he was a general on the Confederate side. But he didn't have no ideology on war like Grant did. Grant knew how to navigate through the trenches and put them in a situation where they couldn't get out. I also study
But I'm talking about, you talking about he became the president later, right?
No.
That's not Ulysses Grant?
Nah, it wasn't Ulysses Grant. It was but now check this out. Same thing with Custard, right? When fighting the Indians, the Sioux Indians, the mighty Sioux Nation was in Oklahoma, and so was the Comanche, and Comanche was some dangerous warriors. But when they fought Crazy Horse and Red Bull and them, Red Bull and Sitting Cloud took their ass up in Canada and walked up out of there, and Crazy Horse fought Custard and them in the war, Little Bighorn. And when they came out of that retreat and there was no way out, all them Indians killed them. So you gotta know history. If you know history, then you can basically figure out what the hell's going on. If you don't really know history, you're in some shit. Stonewall Jackson he wanted slavery. He was the one that was paused and said that, was telling them that, and there was some blacks that were, that's another thing y'all gotta remember too. There was Confederate black soldiers too fighting to be slaves. We don't want to talk about it, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you go into deep in the depth of what happened to Black America in France, they got the Delagards a medal because they went and fought in the French War. The Hellfighters killed all the German soldiers. One of the guys, I think his name was Mr. Johnson, got his foot damn near cut off and never got paid medical benefits, and he was in the military for the American government. The Americans told the French, don't give them any medals, and they're not on our level. Like, this is America, bro. So as long as you understand where you come from and who you're dealing with, it's not all of them. Because there was some abolitionists that freed you, but you always got to be careful that just because they freed you didn't mean they thought you was their equal neither. Some of them didn't think we were their equal. John Brown, though, he was a different white dude. John Brown took his sons and they took guns up and they started shooting white slave owners. They died on Harper's Ferry. They hung them on that tree in Harper's Ferry in Virginia. John Brown wasn't supposed to die for Black America, but he did. Very disrespectful to see young Black America pulling a John Brown statue down because they don't know, they think he's a Confederate soldier. That's just ignorant. History is the key to everything because you get to know, whether you're fucking up or not. It's your history is your temperature, it's your gauge to know whether you're in or out today. Because we always been a culture that's in and out. One day we're in, one day we're out. One day they kick us out, then they pull us back in. For whatever reason. Cicely Tyson was a great, God bless her, great woman. And her husband, Miles Davis, was a real brash. He was an aggressive Black male because he was so dark-skinned. And she understood he had issues because of this. She married him. That was a great thing she did. Ozzie Davis and Ruby Davis, that was a great team. Historians, they were also Black activists. They were also Black Renaissance, Harlem members. They were also Garveyites, like my grandmother, Ruth and my great grandmother Miriam. You know, just hear the story about Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? They said when they deported him, the people were waving the handkerchiefs till he couldn't see him no more. That's how long they stayed out there waving. And they deported him and he died broke. You know, these are the things that these giants left us, this generation, to fix. You know, we can get dual citizenship and we can make some things happen. But first, the thing in the Black America, we got to admit that we have an issue. Then we got to address the issue one by one. We have to admit we have a problem, not act like it's not happening. Like, geez, today's what's going on. Everybody's acting like it's not happening. They, like Michael Jackson said, they playing, don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight. They just not looking at the reality of what's going on and what happened. We got to admit we have an issue, and then we can fix it. But you don't have the issue unless you admit it. You know, and I don't have any drama with anybody. Like this new thing I'm doing, I'm gonna take the beat and better man in Black America. I'm gonna love DMX, I'm gonna love Murray, I'm gonna love all my Black people, no matter what's going on, no matter what happened. I'm gonna chalk it up because you know what? It ain't their fault. It can't be their fault. It's what's been perpetuated over and over since 1865. It's been going on so long that it's second nature to them.
Right.
And I gotta acknowledge that too. And I just gotta take advantage of the knowledge I have and still try to help my community the best way I can. You know, when I see them, I'm not gonna be in you know, I'm gonna be a smile on my face, and I'm gonna be pleasant, and I'm gonna be approachable. You know, I'm gonna take the first step in fixing any negativity we have in our situation, because our mothers don't deserve it, our fathers don't deserve it, and our children don't deserve it, and we're not gonna play gorilla and baboon out here. We're not doing it. We had enough of that shucking and jiving and that. We had enough of that. It's time to elevate here, work with our heart, and let's try to fix what we have going on. Because we're all we have, we're each other's exit and strategy to victory, and that's it. We made mistakes, and we're not gonna live until tomorrow. We're gonna live in the future. We can't fix what happened back there, but we can damn sure fix what happens in the future. So I'm gonna say with that, I love Snoop Dogg, Redman, all my heroes, Method Man, these guys that stay on point, stay working, stay focused, keep the eyes white, in the gym hard. Great, you know, everything you gave us is great. And I want to bring the new guys back like Sam Snead so they can put their part in there. I want to shout out to the leaders like EPMD and Public Enemy and KRS-One, Run DMC, LL Cool J, all of them. But I want to bring Cannabis and Cassidy back to the forefront. I want to do it right. I want to get Black America back on point. And I want to also thank the great white America that stood behind us and freed my people. I want to thank them. I want to thank the great Jewish community that stood side by side with the civil rights movement, and the ones, you know, because let me tell you something, Nick Cannon, when you having a conversation with Griff and you bringing up stuff like that, always remember that that's not all the Jewish people. Don't speak for all of them, because there was many Jews that stood side by side with Blacks and civil rights. There was a whole bunch of them that got killed too, freedom fighters that laid down in the grave with Black people. So you're doing them a discredit when you say, you know, Mellon, and there's some Jewish people that are about Black, and you know, and I want to shout out those Jewish people that stood by us, and Sandy Kant, Bobby Kant, you know, they were real instrumental in my educational studies. Miss Kant's father, who come to all my fights when I was boxing. And like I said, people are people, man. We're in a melting pot, man. So, but we as Black America owe ourselves a lot more respect and a lot more love that we giving each other. And that's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully that, you know, let's get that. Let's fix that. If not, like I said, we can all be some fighting motherfuckers out here. But let's get it together. We love each other. Let's get it together. Okay, yo guys, thanks for having me. I love you.
Thank you,
and
bro.
Like I said, when I get the new music, I'm gonna hit y'all up.
Yeah, come back, bro. We gotta get that in.
No doubt, man. I enjoyed myself, man. You guys put a lot off my chest, man. Got a lot off my chest today.
Yeah, I felt. Hey, that's what's up, because I felt it. I was like, yo, we all helping each other here.
Sometimes I don't like talking about it, and then there's sometimes it's on my heart, and I have to let it release because I want to try to at least fix what's messed up if I can.
Yeah, you're gonna save you some money, man. We saved you a visit to therapy.
No doubt. Yeah,
right.
that too. But you know what, too? All of us too, because if we win, we win.
Facts. That's the truth.
We all have a reason to put back into Black America because it's ours. The Black America we're gonna say is gonna be our own. You know, our parents gave us that. They, remember how our parents looked at us when we was little kids and we went into the future? That's how the next generation is looking. And we'll do our part. And then they'll do their part. And hopefully we're in a better place tomorrow.
Agree.
So then, like I said, I'll stay on that thought, and you guys do the same. And I'll talk to you guys, like I said, when I have some music. And God bless, and may you be safe on your travels. And God bless you guys and your family. And I hope to see you guys soon.
God bless you too, bro. Facts. We got you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.
All right, y'all check us out on rappertshirts.com. Make sure y'all check us out. Just two Black brothers.